Today we're going to talk about the most common pests that you might find on your houseplants. Let's start off with fungus gnats because this may be the most common one because oftentimes they come with the soil that you buy. Yeah, so some of the really cheap, low quality potting soils, they contain eggs or larvae already, and then whenever you put your plants into that soil, those eggs will hatch and then you've got an infestation on your hands. Fungus gnats actually breed in the soil and spend their larval stage in the soil before emerging from the top of the soil as adults and then flying all around your house. Next one that is super common are mealybugs, and mealybugs might be the worst one of all on today's list. Beginner gardeners oftentimes think that mealybugs are some type of fungal infection because they just kind of look like a white fuzz along the stems and nooks and crannies of the plant. And they don't tend to move a whole lot, but especially in their younger life phases, they can certainly crawl around and mobilize to all of your plants. And what makes them especially hard to control is that some of them even live on the roots of the plants or spend part of their life cycle in the soil. The next one are spider mites, and spider mites technically are not a bug because they are more closely related to spiders as they are arachnids. But spider mites are especially insidious because of their small size. In fact, most people can't see them with the naked eye. And although they are very small, once they get an infestation on your plants, they can be extremely destructive and can certainly kill your plants. Most of the time, you'll first notice the leaves being discolored in what we call a stippling pattern. And then when an infestation gets really severe, they will actually create webs and walk all over the webs. And if you let your plant get that infested with spider mites, it might not even be worth trying to save it. Because those little boogers, although they are very small, they stick their mouthpieces down inside the tissue of the plants and suck the life out of it. Next are thrips, and certain houseplant keepers consider this to be the scariest of all the bugs, because they also pierce the leaves and suck the life out of them and cause a lot of damage, especially to newly developing leaves. But what's so crazy about them is because they're so small and they have such skinny bodies is that oftentimes they can actually get in between the leaf tissues of the plants where they're not on the outside of the leaf anymore, they're in between the layers living. Which means that your typical treatments, like things like neem oil, they can't reach in between those layers to actually get to those bugs. The next one is a bug that doesn't look anything like a bug, and that would be scale. Scales come in all different varieties and colors and sizes and types, but they tend to all stick flush to the stem of the plant, and so you'll see things that just look kind of strange about the stem of the plant. And certain species will also stick to the back sides of leaves. And they do stick to those leaves and feed on the plant, and they will slowly weaken it over time. Last one is really interesting, and it's one that we call white flies, and they are white flies. And they are quite small. In fact, oftentimes you'll disturb your plants and then you'll just see stuff that almost looks like dust floating through the air, but those are actually white flies. And white flies, when they get to be a severe infestation, they can cause quite a mess on your plants. And they tend to be very resistant to a wide range of insecticides. Okay, those are the most common ones you're going to see. If you've ever struggled with any of these or have them right now, comment down below which ones you've dealt with, and I can make videos about each one of these to show you how to treat them on your plants.